right, folks, we're back.
We're back.
We're back after I told you guys it was gonna be a long break.
It was a really long break. Weeks.
Almost about a month now.
Yeah.
So we are back finally. I think our last one was Days of Thunder, about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was right before your trip.
Right before Vegas took over and took everything to the next level. So
I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors, the Memphis Tigers, Arizona Tea, and hand grenades.
Not a sponsor. No, this is not picking you up.
Is it not picking me up? Hello.
Okay, I think we're good.
Whatever.
I think we're good now. Just gotta make sure the audio levels are.
The audio levels are in perfect sync.
Yeah, we just gotta make sure that we're good.
First
here.
off, can I pull the pin on this grenade?
Can you pull the pin on the grenade?
Yeah.
No, leave the pin alone, bro.
Why? Let's see what happens. All right. Anyways,
Nothing.
what are we here to talk about, dude?
Today we're here to talk about the one, the only, Catch Me If You Can from 2002. So basically a lifetime ago for both of us at this point.
Yeah. You know, if we were born in 2002, we could legally drink by now.
That is pretty wild.
How wild. That's crazy.
Yeah. Hold on.
This movie is now legally old enough to consume alcohol.
Here, speaking to this mic. I think just my mic's working.
Hello.
I think it's just my mic that's working.
Just that mic, it's okay. I can talk up here.
Yeah.
Yeah?
We're talking here.
We're talking here. Hey,
Right.
hey, we're talking here.
Yeah, the levels are gonna be a little low. I'm gonna play with the audio later.
Yeah,
But
whatever.
anyways, that's nothing to do with the movie.
Yeah, whatever.
So, Catch Me If You Can. As we all know, this was it's a great film. I mean, the cast for this. I mean, let me read off the cast. Some young actresses made their it's like one of their first films. Like, you had Amy Adams is the first thing I really remember seeing her in. Now, going back and looking, it's one of the first things I ever saw her in that I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
You got Jennifer Garner
Mm-hmm.
and Elizabeth Banks are all real quick, small parts.
Ellen Pompeo.
Alan Pompeo from Grey's Anatomy.
Yep.
And then the main cast, you have Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks, Christopher Walken, Martin Sheen. I mean, it's just...
I forgot Martin Sheen was in that movie.
Yeah, he plays Amy Adams' dad.
Right.
Which is it's pretty nuts to think about. Like I said, it's a long movie. It's 2.5 hours.
It's honestly, it's a very long movie. Yeah.
And I remember the first time I saw this, I didn't really realize it was a true story until the very end.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he was 15,
He was
16 when he ran away.
Yeah.
And managed to do fraudulent checks across the country and across the world
Mm-hmm.
for almost 3.5 years, almost 3 full years.
He was 19 when he got caught.
19 got caught, over $4 million. I don't even know what that even be in today's standards. How much would that be?
From what, 1969?
We say about 14 million in today's money, or more.
Yeah,
with inflation.
It's at least 10. Here, I'll do the calculations for you.
Yeah. So like I said, this film, I really enjoy this movie. I've seen it many, many times. The fact that this is actually true is just insane. That a 16-year-old was able to pull this off. And honestly, one of my favorite scenes is still one of the first scenes where he first does his first con job at his new school, where he pretends to be the teacher. How much is it in today's standards?
Hold on, I gotta do the math real quick. Oh, that's photos. You dumb idiot. Okay, 4 million. Yeah, it's $38 million.
So $4 million then is $38 million now.
We're way off.
Wow. All right. Yeah. Wow. And they wonder why the FBI was chasing them.
Yeah. I mean, shit. Nowadays, you steal $38 million. It's chump change compared to what people are stealing nowadays. Hundreds of millions and billions of dollars with embezzlement
and it's funny
scams
and it's funny because at the end of the movie they're like, oh, he gets 12 years. And I was talking about, I was like, if you really think about it, as much money as he stole for back then,
he'd be our age at this point.
12 years wouldn't really be.
Yeah, he would have been out already.
Yeah, because he went at 19, so 12 years after 19,
31.
Yeah. That's.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And he was in maximum security, but in isolation. But again, maximum security prisons probably weren't what they are now back then.
No, I don't think there was a threat back then, but they probably put him in isolation since he was so young.
Yeah.
At that point.
Wasn't so this is what, in the '60s? Isn't that when what's his name? That dude that stole the money in the plane, and then he jumped out and nobody ever found him again. I forget his name.
What are you talking about?
The guy who like stole a bunch of money, got in the plane, and like jumped out of the plane and parachuted all the money, and he was never found again.
Oh,
wasn't that in the '60s also?
I think that was in the '70s.
You know what I'm
I know
talking
exactly
about.
who you're talking about. Shit, now you got me all messed up.
Yeah, because like it's like a famous like name because they never found him. They never really know who it was either. See, now I gotta look it up because
D.B. Cooper.
D.B. Cooper, that's right. D.B.
God.
Who was because there's a documentary on Netflix. Who was D.B. Cooper?
And there's movies that have kind of done that, and the whole like Prison Break thing did D.B. Cooper kind of thing,
And Thor.
Really?
The movie Thor, yeah. So they talked about how like, well, actually, it might have been the Loki show, I remember, but somehow it got brought into it, and they talked about how like Loki did all these like mischievous things and stuff, and there's like a real quick scene where he's like in a plane with the glasses and the suit, and he gets a parachute and jumps out of the plane and just disappears, and then Thor grabs him midair, and that's why he disappears. So they play onto that Loki was D.B. Cooper,
Got it.
which I think is funny, and then the movie. Up a creek without a paddle, whatever it is. They find the D.B. Cooper money.
Yeah,
they find his body and everything, which has nothing to do with this movie.
Right.
At
We're
all.
talking about a completely different movie.
So, like, again, these scams. He started at 15 years old after his parents divorced. Basically, so his mom was
This kid is smart.
super smart, just like ridiculous,
off the scales.
Yeah.
Smart. IQ of like almost 150.
if not higher.
Yeah, I don't know how high. I think 150 might be his maxed out. Maybe 151, 2, whatever.
Yeah, but it's like his first scam again was probably my first one where he's the teacher. He's like not Abignil or not Abigny or it's Abignale, not Abignale.
Yeah, like you're gonna go in and first off you get bullied by the kids in the school, and then like you're like, you know what, screw you guys, I'm gonna teach this class. I felt really sorry for that substitute teacher that walked in, that old lady. I thought I was covered. No, I was covered for and like you could tell like it probably took her hours to get to where she needed to be at that age, and for
she's probably in her 70s. She's probably in her 60s or mid 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, I feel really sorry for her.
You find out he's been teaching the whole time. And we were talking about. I was like, honestly, like when he gets busted, I was telling you, I was like, I don't know. I'm not a parent, neither are you. But I was like, I understand like you'd be a little upset. But at the same time, you have to be like
proud.
How did you not get caught for an entire week?
And that's
how does no one question this kid walking around the school?
That and having a parent-teacher conference.
Like how did no one tell? I've never looked up a picture of this guy, so I'm curious like what he looked like that would lead people to believe that he's like you would have to be what, at least 21, 22 to be a teacher to graduate college. At least 21, 22, I would say right there to start at the youngest.
Back then, yeah, you're probably in your early 20s, so you'd have to look older than 16 at least. But yeah, it just slays me that he can just get away with these things. So he must have obviously looked way older than his actual age. And the other thing that always got me was like, he starts, because the first thing obviously was like, I think what led him down this path was obviously becoming the substitute teacher. Then he's like, if I can get away with this, what else can I get away with?
Well, and you can still, like we were talking about, like his dad was a con man. Essentially like a low-level con man.
Just like an amateur con man. Wasn't very good at it, and you could tell, especially in that scene where they meet at the fancy restaurant and wants to give him the car, brand new car, and he's like, I came here on the bus, I'm leaving on the bus. Like, there's, pride in what you do, but kind of confused how your son gets all this money and where it's coming from, and I think he kind of realized something's not right. Obviously, parents know. But you get this sense of, he's probably pulling the same game that I am, but he's doing it so much better. Yeah.
So so I'm looking at photos of him. He doesn't look like he's super young in these photos, like his arrest photos.
I'm just screen mirroring so I can see.
Oh,
Yeah, he doesn't look young at all. He looks shit
like
mid
that.
20s.
Yeah, he so that's what 65. So he would have been what? Because the movie starts at 63. So he would have been what 18 in this photo.
What year is that?
65.
Oh
This is
God.
from February 25th, 1965. Like so this photo.
That's when he was 16.
Yeah, so he's 16 in this photo. That dude
That
does
dude-
not look 16.
That
Looks
he looks
like
our age.
Looks like he's 25, 30. So I guess I can kind of see how he pulled this off because I never actually really looked up a picture of him before. So like looking at this photo, you can kind of tell. Like I guess I can kind of see how.
Yeah,
it's
believable.
Like there's even one here of him in his pilot's uniform. As well.
I'm not screaming.
No, I'm saying it's just like, it's pretty wild that like how does how smart do you have to be?
I think you have to
To be able to fake to be a teacher, fraudulent checks across the world,
not just
fake
that.
being a pilot,
So yeah, you
a
fake being
doctor,
a teacher. You're
a lawyer,
Yep.
and he had to pass the bar exam.
And he actually passed it.
Without going to college for real.
Yeah. I
Like-
studied for 2 weeks.
Like, cause like our famous football commissioner is a lawyer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How long was his law school? Like, how long was he in school for?
I went to college for 4 years.
So,
And then
he had to go to law school
it
after
was
that.
Another, at least 2, if not 3 or 4 beyond that.
so we'll call
Yeah,
it.
it was a few years of law school.
It has to be at least 2.
Yeah, I think it's 3.
Okay, so we'll call it 7.
Sorry, Commish, we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not lawyers. We don't even know.
Yeah,
We're-
it's not our job.
It's
It is not our job.
It's not. It's not. So you think about it. He did essentially. We'll call it 7 years. You know, we'll call it 8, just to be safe.
Mhm.
Essentially, 8 years of studying in 2 weeks.
Well, I don't agree with that. I agree with you. You don't go to college to become a lawyer. You're not taught law classes in college.
Okay, so
You're taught law classes in law school.
okay, so he did a minimum of
He
two
took at least
years.
2 years into 2 weeks. Yeah.
And the thing is, in each state's laws are different from other states,
Mhm.
which is just like
Yeah. I mean, I bet he has some sort of photographic memory. The other thing that
he
I
has to.
think you have to
The
have.
people that have that make me so angry because they're like my brother, who never studied it for anything and got A's and B's, and I'd be slaving away at the dinner table till 10 or 11 o'clock at night just to get a friggin' C- on a science test. It's like, it was so irritating. 'Cause he never studied, never brought a book home. I'm bringing every book, pencil, paper, everything home. And Steve,
Yeah.
nothing.
Mhm.
He's on the computer playing Tetris, like hanging out eating Cheetos, and I'm like ripping my freaking hair out. My mom's at the table crying because we can't get the math equation right. And Steve
When
just
they start adding letters!
it's just like
So
yeah.
photographic memory, and you have to have a shit ton of confidence.
Oh yeah, and charisma,
Oh my god.
especially to be a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
To be a pilot, you have to be very charismatic, and you have to know like what you're doing.
Yeah, you have to be able to talk the talk. But the thing I like about what he does is you don't have to walk the walk. You just have to talk the talk.
Yeah, because he never had to fly a plane,
Mhm.
which is pretty wild. You know how lucky he is that a pilot
Mhm.
never had a heart attack,
Right.
and nobody ever questioned him just taking flights here and there. Nobody
Mhm.
ever questioned it.
Yeah.
Oh, if you
And the
try,
whole doctor thing, he's like, we have this issue. He's like,
do you concur?
do you concur?
And literally, you saw like kind of how we study. Again, we don't know how real, authentic, I guess that is. If you really just watch like old movies and learn the lingo from there,
Mm-hmm.
obviously you saw like with the plane stuff, he went and interviewed the guy like what it seemed like probably at least 2 or 3 times I think.
Yeah.
And the guy gave him like what he needed, like documentation or whatever, some piece of paper, I forget what it's called. And just gave it to him. He goes, 3 years expired. Oh, Frank's like, all right, erased it and wrote down the new date or whatever. And it's just like, then he fakes getting his own pilot suit. And even at the end, he makes up his own like stewardess program with
Yeah.
Pan Am and just finds
Come
like
on and win a trip.
and basically he just goes to college and just finds 8 gorgeous females
Mm-hmm.
to get away from Carl Hanratty.
Yeah.
Who's on his tail, which is so smart to even think about that. And he walks right past him in the terminal. It's just like, turn around, just turn around.
The first time, though, he met Carl in the hotel room.
Yeah.
Or the motel room.
Which is like 35 minutes into the movie, 35, 40 minutes into the
Mhm.
movie. I mean, it's like
You
right
have to
away.
be, like, on it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know you're there, you're in the bathroom, you're gonna get caught, and then all of a sudden, I'm Secret Service.
And he just walks out. He's so calm. He's wiping his hands like it's no big deal. And it's just like he walks out. He's like, "Oh, I'm Secret Service." And when we were talking, I'm like, "Secret Service does check fraud?" Like, I honestly had no idea. Like, I figured it was just like a CIA, FBI kind of thing. I thought the Secret Service.
Secret Service does protection detail, and they do everything counterfeiting money related.
See, I didn't know that. So I might sound really stupid as someone who knows that is listening to this. So I do apologize. I just didn't know that. So I learned something new today from this movie that I've seen probably 15, 20 times.
Yes, you did.
And I think they did a really good job also of making DiCaprio look super young. I mean, he was younger.
He's in his probably early 20s, mid-20s.
No, he's probably mid to late 20s at that point. He's been around for a while. Dude.
He's been around for a while?
Yeah, he's a kid. He was a child actor. He started off really young. He's done a bunch. I want to say he was 26, 27 when he did this movie. Because I think he's in his 50s right now. I believe. I may be wrong on that. I don't know what year he was.
27.
I said that. 27. Nailed it. You heard it here first, folks.
27-year-old acting as a 16-year-old.
But you think that's right around the age where you can pull it off. Like, there are 2 or 3 years you can't really pull it off.
Yeah.
You see all those like people that do like the high school movies. They're like, "Oh, we're high school kids." Like,
yeah.
It's like, dude, you easily look 35. Like the movie 21 Jump Street. Like, bitch, you at least 40. But so it's just. I mean, the con artist, like this whole movie is just like you said, he walks out, hands in the wallet. How do you not know that the FBI?
And to put it together, that the random old dude's being walked out to the car at that exact moment.
But he saw him leaving.
Right, but like to be able to that's just pure luck at that point.
Oh, he's very lucky on a lot of points, and that's if this is all accurate.
Yeah.
Some of this is going to be embellished for movies,
for
the movie standards. So we don't know if Carl Hanratty actually met Frank Abagnale in a hotel room randomly for the first time.
I would bet you that he did.
I would like to think that he did, and that Carl was just like let him slip through his fingers, didn't know. And like I said, he gives him his wallet. How do you not open the wallet? First of all, as an FBI agent, how do you not open that wallet and check it?
And first off, if you're a Secret Service agent, you're not going to hand a wallet. You're going to hand this easy open portfolio.
Yeah, it's going to go. It's gonna flip
thing.
Bad, like everyone does in the movies, like almost like a Spider-Man move, like kind of thing. The hand motion. Flip it open. Okay, you know what? You just.
I know.
But yeah, so and he gets away there.
Okay.
And then we have the theme that was developed throughout the entire movie. A lot of the big moments of the movie are on Christmas Eve. I think almost every year he started calling Carl on Christmas Eve
because it became a thing.
Because he had no one else to call.
Right.
And like Carl figured that out after his first phone call. He goes, "You're calling me because you have no one else to call." And it's just like it became a thing, over and over again. It's almost like Frank will call him and kind of tease him and go, "I'm gonna have you come here, but guess what? I'm already somewhere else when you get here. You're always gonna be one step behind me." And it's just like the fact that you're able to keep ahead of the FBI, who is looking for just you.
Yeah.
Like they're looking for you specifically. There's like 4 guys that are assigned to just finding you anywhere in the United States. First of all, you couldn't pull that off now.
Yeah, you could.
You could, but it wouldn't be as easy as it was for him.
No, I mean the thing about it that there's no tracing of phone calls.
Not in the 60s, actually not.
There's no internet.
Really no fingerprinting back then, was there?
They had fingerprinting.
Fingerprinting technology. But it wasn't, it's not like it is now.
Oh, God, no.
Where you can get someone's half a fingerprint, you're like, oh, it's this person.
Yeah, and the whole let's roll it on the thing and then put you on here and we're gonna use they just take pictures and it's all digital and shit.
And you have security cameras with face recognition.
Yeah, like that. It would be so much more difficult to pull this off.
Because like we were talking about
today, it'd be harder to pull it off today than it was 10 years ago.
And like we were talking about all the pictures, all you have to do is put his pictures up at all the banks.
Yeah. Why not send out a bulletin and be like, hey, if you see this kid or see this name on a check, don't cash it. Why is it that hard?
But the thing is, they didn't have a picture of him yet, because remember?
They did. They had the yearbook photo.
Yeah, but
they knew who he was.
But for half of the movie, they didn't, though.
Regardless, the moment you get that, they never used it. They never said, hey, be on the lookout for this.
That we were shown.
Come on.
Hey.
Come on.
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here.
It's crazy.
I'm just blown away. This dude looks like he's 35 at 16 still. Like, this is, like, insane to me. And the fact that he actually got to get out of prison and work for the FBI.
Yeah. Go to prison.
So I'm just curious, like, I guess I should have looked this up before we started, but, like, I'm curious if, like, it could seem like he got to just kind of wander around the city as long as he showed up to work, kind of got to do whatever the hell he wanted, it seemed like.
Almost like a work release, but for prison.
Yeah, like his check-in every day was literally just making sure.
Go to work. Yeah, you don't go back to prison when you're done clocking out.
Yeah, this whole story is just, it's pretty freaking nuts. And imagine, we were also talking about this. Imagine being Brenda. You think you found this doctor, this perfect doctor, gorgeous, rich, smart, Harvard. He's in love with you. He wants to marry you, take you home to meet your family. And all of a sudden he goes, oh, whoops, I'm not a doctor anymore. I'm a lawyer. And magically he goes to...
He's a chameleon.
Yeah, he goes to the same college that her dad went to for law school at Berkeley, played by Martin Sheen. And of course he asks him about the dog and a certain teacher. And then honestly, I feel like that part's probably true, and he probably just happened to guess correctly. Because obviously he didn't go to Berkeley. He didn't go to that school. He has no idea who that person was.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, that dog was dead. You do that nowadays, that person could pull up their phone and go, well, actually, that dog's still alive. It's right here on his Instagram. And you'd be done.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's how it's done now. Like, it's that easy because everyone puts their lives on all the social media.
Yep.
I mean, I do to a point, but I've kind of pulled back on it. It's mostly just for kind of this stuff now. But, I mean, this had been a wild life he had for like that 3 years.
Yeah. And then to join the FBI at the end.
I mean, could you just imagine being 16, 17 years old, having hundreds of thousands of dollars back in the 60s, and going all over the world?
Yeah. It's a life.
From place to place. Imagine the things he saw and did. The stories we didn't get told in this film.
Yeah. Are probably wild. You'd have to make a whole mini-series.
Like I said, he has a book, which I kind of want to read. I'm surprised I haven't yet. That's what this whole thing's based off of, is like he wrote this book. So again, I don't know how accurate this movie is to the book, because again, movies are embellished for Hollywood. And then we have like the whole like the hooker scene where Jennifer Gardner plays like a hooker. And I was like, oh, is she playing one of her aliases? Mind you, this is probably about 6-7 years before Alias even came out.
You know, Alias was like in the late 90s, right?
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh god, I sound really dumb right now.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, honestly.
Just a few years.
Hold on, let's check this out here. Alias. I don't think I misspelled it right. Bradley Cooper was in that show?
2001, sorry.
Final episode was in 2006. So, yeah, no, this came out. Alias released a year
Oh, I thought you meant
after.
like that.
Yeah.
From like 1969 or 1965.
No. I'm talking about this, our time period now. Yeah, because it looks here, it came out September 3rd, 2001, so it ran for 5 years. So it came out a year, this movie came out a year after Alias started. So this probably would have been one of her first films, where she had a film role, versus like a TV role.
Hey, she's single.
Is she?
Yeah.
Who did I say it was? Oh, I thought it was Jessica Biel. At first I was like, wait, nope, that's wrong. That's Justin Timberlake's wife. Bradley Cooper was in that show too. I didn't know that. Huh. Yeah, I'll put that on my list whenever I have time. But, yeah, I mean, and the whole... So what did we decide? We decided about his dad. We were talking about that as well. His dad was basically just like a low-level like con man, just cheating the government basically. And that's why he was having money problems the whole freaking movie.
Yeah.
So what do you think he was doing? Just like not paying bills, or just like...
Oh, absolutely. He was skating by. He wanted to create this fake lifestyle.
Because of the Rotary Club. And of course his wife left him for his best friend. That whole scene was just messed up. 16 years old, you walk in, your mom having an affair, clearly having an affair.
I'm just showing you the apartment from the bedroom behind a closed door.
Yeah, and he finds his cuffs on the floor, and then you come home like however many weeks later it would have been, and there's another stranger in your house.
Right.
And they're like, come in here, sign this, pick who you're gonna live with for till you're 18. It's like
dropping a grenade.
Yeah, because I know like personally, like that happened to me. Essentially, I have to write down a name, but that's basically what happened. I came home one day, and were like, hey, parents were like, hey, we're getting a divorce, so we're gonna have to, it was just so out of the blue. But yeah, man, at 16, I was 17, so I mean, it's not really much of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, different time period, different circumstances, but still.
Right.
Ugh, I can't even.
It's rough.
And then he's like, you know what? And he literally just takes off and writes his first check, like not even 5 minutes later.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the genius behind it, the whole Pan Am thing is like, to me, that's like his most genius thing is the pilot thing.
Yeah, with the planes in the tub.
Yeah. He has the planes in the tub.
Take the little logo off.
He gets the logo off with the water, puts it on. And my thing is like, how do you know how to do all this?
He's smart.
How do you, as a 6-year-old, know how to make fake checks?
He's smart. If you put your mind to it, you can do anything. Except you can't become a woman.
Okay. We're not going down that road, Matthew.
This podcast also brought to you in part by Miller Lite.
Jesus. Oh God. Yeah. So, what would you give this movie on a 1 to 10 scale? Because I always do movie ratings on movie reviews. So, what would you give this on a 1 to 10 scale?
1 to 10. I'll give it a solid 7.5.
Okay, so you're going 7.5.
Mm-hmm. That's typically what half means.
Yeah, I know. I'm just clarifying for the audience out there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with a 7.7 out of 10. That's just because Leo's the effing man, and he's awesome in every movie he's in.
Okay.
And it's Christopher Walken. Come on.
Yeah.
I have a sickness. The only cure is more cowbell. So now we've kind of covered most of the movie. We pretty much covered it all already, right?
Yeah.
At this point, I think we kind of discussed for going to our next week's episode. I think we're going to cover. It's going to be kind of cheesy we're doing this, but we're going to do it anyways.
We're going to do it.
We're going to cover the movie Draft Day because next week is the NFL draft.
When are we doing it?
We'll have to do it before Thursday.
Before Thursday?
Yeah, the draft's next Thursday.
Right. I'm so say you want to do it this week. What you got going on? That date?
Tomorrow I'm busy.
Tomorrow you're busy. Yeah, I can't do anything tomorrow. I'm busy. Check your social calendar.
Friday should work.
Friday? Yeah.
Friday should work.
You heard it here. We're going to do it Friday.
So, yeah. So, we'll be recording. So, we'll try and record that, because, again, Friday night, because Nicole works on Friday, so my nights are usually free.
Name drop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. Put the boo on blast. Yeah, so we'll be doing Draft Day. Came out, what, like 2013, 14?
I was living in Aurora, shot right across the street from where I lived.
And parts of her filmed downtown, too. 2014. And guess who is one of the stars of that movie?
Yeah, that makes sense because I moved down there in 2015. Say what?
Guess who's one of the stars of that movie?
John Dutton.
John Dutton's not in Draft Day. Oh, he is. I'm an idiot.
Are you?
I was thinking the other guy. I was gonna say Jennifer Garner, who's also in the movie we just covered. Oh my God, I forgot P. Diddy's in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Sean McCombs. So yeah, we will be covering that, and it's very fitting because we are from Ohio.
Yep.
You are a Browns fan, as people can see.
Go Dogs.
So next week, well actually no, later this week, we will be covering Draft Day because it's basically like next week is draft week. So.
Might as well get it done.
So yeah, might as well knock that one out, and then we'll figure out our next episode after that because obviously we're not going to wait a month to do the next one, hopefully, because...
We're not like super good at this sometimes.
Well,
we have things happen.
We also have lives, so people understand.
Yeah.
People are listening; they understand you have lives. We're not Joe Rogan. We're not getting paid $300 million, whatever he's making, to do this every single day.
If you were paid $300 million a year, would you do this every day?
Oh yeah, because then I would have like big guests like Joe Rogan does. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I would just like ask people that are like famous to be on here, or.
Am I not famous enough for you?
Oh, you're very famous.
I am.
But you're not like Joe Rogan famous.
I am the American Patriot.
You are from Front Porch Pick'ems. Coming back next season, season 4.
Yeah, maybe we should just do a side porch pick'ems and do the USFL.
Well, their season's already started, bro.
I know. So why can't we just hop in?
I mean, if you want to hop in the USFL, I mean, I'm game. I don't know if the guys will be down for the USL.
Yeah.
Nick would be, because Nick's always down for some gambling.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap it up here. We'll keep it short,
Real.
tight and short here.
Lots of fun.
And we will talk to you all Friday evening. Maybe we'll do a live show Friday.
Want to?
Let's try to do a live show for the people on Friday.
Okay.
Not sure what time yet. Just look out on the social medias. And yeah, we'll talk to y'all Friday night. And go ahead and give the tagline, Matt. Give the tagline.
And this has been your Slice of Pie.
That's not it.